Okay, we're back in InDesign Training Basics and Chapter 4, Preparation for Exploring Adobe InDesign CS6. These are best practices for page layout, and even if you're not using the book, this is just good, solid practice. What I want to show you is how to manage your text flow. I do a lot of documents that are publications actually, where I have to do page layout from articles that other people have written. And I do Grand Valley State University, the College of Education. I do their twice a year publication called Colleagues. And so I get lots of articles that we have to place in the publication, and this is one of them. But you could open up the Word document and you could select everything in the document, but that gets to be tedious and old pretty quick. This stuff already exists, and really I'm going to just be stripping out any much formatting that they have provided and think that they've helped me with. So the article exists, but there's a different way to do these, managing flowing text of any length into your project. Okay, so I've got a page here. I've got a rather large margin because I wanted to make a point of something in the next few minutes. And we can make a text box or several text boxes. Let's say I make this text box and then I make another one. Okay. So maybe I want to flow the text into an existing text box. So then all I need to do, instead of going to the Microsoft Word document, I can go to the File drop-down menu and select Place. Now, you're going to want to know what the key command is for it. So it's Command on a Macintosh, D, or on Windows, it's going to be Control D for place. All right, and you'll notice this dialog box. Now, I've gone to some articles here, and at the bottom, it says Replace Selected Item. Now, if you already have text in your text box, and you're wanting to replace it instead of what's written there, then you could have that checked. Okay. I'm going to select one of these, open this article, then it's flowed right into that area that I just made the text box. Okay. You're going to notice at the very bottom there's like a red square with a plus sign in it. What that means, of course, is that the text is too long to show everything, and so the rest is hidden. Now, Adobe will indicate to us that, hey, you got more here, and so that little symbol is going to tell us an awful lot. Okay, how do I flow the text in from this to connect it to the next text box that I've drawn? Well, I need the selection tool, actually. Okay, I automatically go there, and in fact the red has become more prominent, and I can click in it. Then my cursor, it's almost like the sponge. It soaks up all the extra overflowing, and then I can click inside of the text box and it will continue. Okay, notice that I didn't place it on the edge of the text box. Anywhere inside of it is fine. Okay. That gets kind of old fast. Okay, so I'm going to undo all of this. Another thing that you could do, if you're planning on having columns, you could change your layout, or from the very beginning, put in your columns and margins. We can do a number of columns. I'm going to do 3 here and click OK. Our margins help us a great deal for automating our work in some instances. And there are 4 different ways of flowing your text into the document. The first one here, without actually first creating a text box. I just want to place something and draw the box as I'm placing it. So this first one is the manual text flow. Now, the other ways to do what we're going to do in sequence, you hold down some of your modifier keys, a shift or an option or command or a combination of those modifier keys. For manual text flow, we're just going to flat out place some text. So again, File, Place, or Command or Control D. And instead of drawing a text box initially, so I'm going to open that up, my article, and you see the cursor has already filled it, quote unquote, filled it with my article. So now I could, using these margins as my guide, go and click and drag and create my text box. All right. So now I have the cursor key back, the selection key, selection tool back, and so then I can click in that red box, and it's going to turn into like this little teeny tiny arrow. Okay, so now I know I've picked up the rest of the text, and continuing on, I'm going to click and drag, new text box. Again, click in the overflow box, click and drag, and continue my work. Okay, that gets old fast too, because I don't want to keep having to stop and click and extra clicks. Okay, maybe that seems lazy, but on the job you need to speed up your production, and that's kind of the norm and expectation, is to do things as fast and efficiently as possible. So I'm going to undo those. Okay, I still have the place text. You can see the cursor still is loaded up, and so this next one is called Semiautomatic text flow. And what that does is, instead of having to click in the red box, I hold a modifier key down so that I can just continue my work one column after another, and it becomes quicker. Okay, for column text, this works pretty good. So if I hold down which key, the Option on a Mac, or hold down the Alt key on Windows, and you can see the little cursor, okay, has changed. I hold the Option or Alt key, and it becomes kind of like a snake with an arrow, and it's the dotted line there. Okay, so that tells us semi-automatic. All I have to do, I do have to make the text box. So click and drag. Okay, and keeping that Option or Alt key down. Oops, sorry, I didn't have it down. So click and drag with the Option or Alt key down, and I still have the loaded cursor. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I still have the overflow of the text, so I could add a new page and keep going. Okay, well, I don't actually prefer having 3 threaded separate text boxes. I like to do a text box with 3 columns in it. So I usually place the text in a just a regular text box within the margin, and then I set the columns on top of that to divide it up that way. So there's another one called Automatic Text Flow, and I like this one because it is going to not only place my text, but it's going to place the text until it runs out and create new pages for me. Gosh, I love that. But it doesn't work quite as well with the columns in place. I'm going to take those off. Okay, yeah, we like margins and columns and all that kind of stuff, a grid system. But you know, once you've designed some things and you kind of get a feel for it, you speed up your production, you might not need quite as much. All right, let's go to place, file place. Again, I'll select the article. And it's just a matter of clicking into the margin. Okay, that didn't work because why? Well, we need a modifier key, of course. Alright, so instead of that now, I need to hold down my shift key as I place the text. And so under File, Place, yeah, that was shocking. Alright, so hold down your shift key and you can see that the cursor is changing into this snake configuration with the arrow. Click in the corner of the margin. Okay, we need the margins, and did you see what happened to the pages? I now automatically have 3 pages instead of 1, and that means that it got all the way down to a 3rd page, and that's the length of the article. Okay, so I would go back into these text boxes and create them into 3 column. This one into 3 columns. Okay, there is a way to automate the style of a text box. That is, you can set defaults for styles for your objects. That will come at a later date. But text flow, it's important that we know how this is done. Now the last one is automatic text flow with fixed pages, so it won't go all the way to 3 pages, and that is to hold down your Shift and your Option key, or Shift and your Alt key, depending on if you're on a Mac or a PC. Okay, try it out and have some fun with text flow.